There are two types of useful life of an intangible asset. Number one is finite, two indefinite. There are few factors to consider the useful life of intangible asset. Number one, expected usage. Number two, product life cycle. Number three, technical and technological obsolescence. Number four, expected action of competitors. Number five, period of control over asset and legit limit. Intangible asset with finite useful life. The depreciable amount of an intangible asset with finite useful life shall be allocated on a systematic basis over its useful life. Finite life can be expressed in terms of time or number of production or similar units. For example, Arna Berhad acquired publishing rights at a cost of 8 million ringgit and a legal life of 10 years. In this situation, finite life can be expressed in terms of time, which is 10 years. Next is impairment test is done if there are indicators that they could be impaired. It should be amortized on a systematic basis over its useful life. The amortization is recognized in statement of profit and loss. Amortization method should be reflect the pattern in which future economic benefits are consumed. Otherwise, straight line basis is used. Amortization begins when asset is available for use and when product under development is commercially produced. Amortization ceases at the earlier of date when asset is derecognized and when it is classified as MFRS5 asset. For example, again, Arna Berhad acquired publishing rights at a cost of 8 million ringgit at a legal life of 10 years. The intangible asset is amortized over 10 years and 800,000 ringgit is recognized as amortization expense, which is 8 million ringgit divided by 10 years. The journal entries for this transaction is debit, statement of profit or loss, amortization expense 800,000 ringgit, credit accumulated amortization 800,000 ringgit.
Indefinite useful life means no foreseeable limit to the period over which the asset is expected to generate net cash inflows for the entity. It means we don't know for how long the intangible asset can be used. For example, brands. Intangible asset with indefinite useful life should not be amortized, but impairment tests shall be done annually and whenever there are indications of impairment. For the journal entry, we need to debit SOPL impairment loss, credit intangible asset. Change in indefinite useful life to finite useful life is a change in accounting estimate.
An impairment loss is the amount by which the carrying amount of an individual asset or a cash generating unit exceeds its recoverable amount. Impairment loss is a decrease in the economic value of assets and it will result in an impairment loss. It applies to both tangible and intangible assets and assets that are either carried at cost or at revalue amount, such as property, plant and equipment covered by MFRS116, investment properties measured at cost, intangibles covered under MFRS138, goodwill and investments in subsidiaries, associates and joint ventures. Concept of impairment of assets. Assets should not be recognized at an amount higher than its recoverable amount. When an asset's carrying amount is higher than its recoverable amount, an impairment loss is recognized. Impairment loss is the amount by which the carrying amount of an asset exceeds its recoverable amount. Journal entries for impairment loss. Debit impairment loss, credit accumulated impairment loss. The accumulated impairment loss is credited to reduce the carrying value of an asset to the recoverable amount.